Love always finds a way.
Jump into the sea and you will learn how to swim.
How do you find a mentor?
Make money, get a mentor, just start learning. Follow what they say. I will not apply my brains for the time I'm working with them.
Surrender to their process.
That is how you will grow the fastest. That is how you will learn the fastest. The most important decision to take is like to choose the right mentor. Don't be scared of this hustle. Don't be scared of rejections. Don't be scared of the fact that, there'll be some days you'll come home and cry.
And what it means to be a man in today's world, how difficult things are because of social media, and all the expectations and difficulties with just being a guy in today's world.
That's what I did to make my parents happy.
Social media and the access to it has made the world a global marketplace.
The world doesn't have the time to see what going on, right?
Yeah. Welcome to the Unshakeable podcast. Today I have a very special guest, Harry, also known as Harsamar Singh. Harry, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me here.
So today it's going to be a freewheeling range of topics centered mostly around masculinity and what it means to be a man in today's world, how difficult things are because of social media, and all the expectations and difficulties with just being a guy in today's world. So Harry, first of all, I wanted to introduce my audience to you. Tell me what you do as your day job,
Yeah.
and tell me what you do for fun and your passions in life.
Well, I have a couple of things up my sleeves, for my profession, I'm a merchant navy officer. I'm a chief officer currently. I work on oil tankers. That's my job. That's my salaried job. That's what I did to make my parents happy. But yeah, like the second thing is I help men, especially. I help women as well, but like specifically, I help men gain more confidence in life, better their dating lives, and altogether like have a successful life the way they wish to do, right? So I help men do that, and yeah, that's the things I do, man.
So, as you know, life as a man is kind of tough these days. There's so many expectations placed on us, and I want to get in straight into like dating. Social media and the access to it has made the world a global marketplace. Every woman can meet every guy. Every guy can just DM any girl he wants to, and can presumably can set up a date and try to have that woman in his life. You know, like get married, date, have children, etc. With all this choice and all these options available to women mostly and men, how does one navigate this new marketplace or this social media aspect to dating? How do you still have a good dating life and meet someone cool with all these apps and social media?
Well, see, when everyone is doing the same thing, right? Then the only thing you got to do is do something different, right? So now when you see all these men up on dating website, right, scrolling right, left, center, and especially people who are rich or people who know how to show off, right? They will build a profile and show like I'm really rich, I'm traveling here, traveling there, get good shots, right? And like because they can hire cameramans, they can do photo shoots, they can go to like luxury places, so and they can make like really amazing dating profiles, right? If like they work on it,
Mhm.
right? So as a normal like middle class man in any country, right, then it gets very difficult for you to like compete with them,
Right.
right? So like I would just say like in this day and age where you see all these people up on the dating websites, the only thing you can do is like be confident and meet people in real life, right? That is how you differentiate. Because like women that are there on the dating websites, right, all the people are meeting them. It's like the ratio is like 5% of the men,
Mhm.
the men who are at the top 5%,
Yeah.
they are the ones who are like meeting and around, and just like screwing 90% of the women.
Right.
And the funny fact is women do not understand this, right? They
Right.
don't understand that it's the same men who are meeting all the women on the dating websites, and they're exploiting.
Mhm.
They're not exploiting, it's just like when they can make it happen, why not make it happen, right?
Correct.
Everyone would be greedy about it,
Correct.
right? So what you need to understand is that you need to go out of this. You need to go out of this dating website thing and go out, meet people at gyms and clubs, in daily life, like you're going for grocery,
Right.
go and meet women there.
So I want to get into that a bit.
Yeah.
But before that, I want to get into the modern man's reality check, which is career, making money, the cost of living of everything going up like crazy these days. Like cabs, groceries, things becoming so unaffordable that even a normal, decently paying corporate job these days even isn't enough to for a guy to level up,
Yeah.
to spend on himself and to work on himself.
Yeah.
So yeah, the world's getting tough to be in. How is someone supposed to deal with that and simultaneously work on their dating life? Because as you know, that's so important. That's
Yeah.
a really important part of anyone,
Course,
any
of
man's
course.
life. How do you deal with these pressures and difficulties that come in a guy's life?
Well, see, the first thing is like, you got to accept it. First, the fact that you're a man, now you're born, right? You can't do anything about it. You can't turn into a woman and have your life simpler, right? I'm
Yeah,
not saying, see, like, even women, like in some parts of the world, their life is fucked up as well.
right.
But like in general, where I have been born and brought up, I see, men, they're getting screwed right, left, and center, right?
Yeah,
Especially with the dating market these days,
correct.
right? So I feel, first of all, you need to accept and you need to acknowledge that this is the reality, right? And then you need to start working on it, right? So like, I know, that, you need to work hard, you need to work in your health, you need to work in your dating, you need to make money, all of these together, it's just too much on the plate, right?
Correct.
But the reality is you got to do it, man. You can't just like shy away, like, okay, I'll make money first.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll work hard for the 10 years of my life.
yeah,
I'll be 30.
yeah,
I'll buy a Merc, I'll make money, I'll buy a house, and then I will, start, on my dating career and, shit like that.
yeah,
Or my, like sort my dating. But
yeah,
that's not how it works, right?
yeah.
Like, you need to take things in tandem, you need to take things together, right? They need
Right.
to be in sync.
Mhm.
You got to do dating, you got to handle money, and at the same time you got to handle health, right?
Correct.
So everything needs to go hand in hand, right?
Got it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good point you made. I mean, you can't change the world that we live in. You can't
Yeah.
just mold reality and just make it something that it isn't, right? But at the same time, uh, doing that is hard. So could you give some actionable steps as to what guys can do to, despite a very high pressure work environment, despite not being able to save enough, despite not being able to spend, let's say, on fashion, on travel, or some of these things that you need to do these days to get edge in the dating market and to meet someone cool? What are some of these things that are unconventional but you need to do to manage all these things at the same time?
Yeah. So I guess, first thing is that, you gotta like, for me, three things, like I just broke them down: money, health, and women,
Yep.
right? These are the three important things
Yep.
that a man needs, like the moment he's 18
Mm-hmm.
till 40, 50, 60, whatever. Like for me, it's 70. Anyways, so like, you need these three things, right? So you need to start working on them. Let's break them down. Like, let's say money first, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to make money, you need to first figure out that could you get a job which can pay you well, right? Are you like educated enough, or do you have that talent?
Yep.
If not, then you work on it, right? You read more, you get your skills right,
Yeah.
start working for someone who pays you, right?
Yep.
Or like if you want to do your own thing, the only thing is like, if you want to get some skills, start working towards it.
Yeah.
Start going for more interviews.
Mhm.
There's like insane amount of jobs in the world,
Yeah.
but like we just don't apply, right?
Correct.
So like if you go for like 20 interviews a day, in a month you will land up in a high paying job, right? That's the reality. So you need to sort your skills out, you need to sort it, and automatically you will sort your money out, right?
Correct.
So you just keep at it, and one day you will make money, man. That's how it is. That's how it goes, right?
Got it.
And then in terms of health, I would say, start knowing more about your body. Start doing those blood tests, see where you're lacking. Do those like daily steps. Go to the gym, hit the gym, right? Be fit. That's the bare minimum, right?
Yeah.
Eat your multivitamins on time. Stuff like that. And then coming down to the third thing, women, right?
Yeah.
Women, I'll tell you, the fastest way to like learn to be good with women is being rejected. Go out there and be rejected.
Hectic.
That's how you learn.
Man, just hearing this, I mean, I have done my share of cold approach, and even to this day, I don't like getting rejected. I don't enjoy it. So I wanna get more deeper into this, but before that, I want to just get into a little anecdote from your life. Okay, you are in the merchant navy, work on some of the most difficult operations, which is oil tankers. What are some of the things that you have taken, or some of the qualities, some of the habits that you have taken or got from there that have really, really helped you in your personal life?
Name few. So because like our career is all about hierarchy, it's all about discipline, it's all about getting on time, reaching to work on time, right? But like so when I joined Merchant Navy, my only reason to join Merchant Navy was because my parents were like way too strict. Like my dad was always after me, till I was in school key, where are you? What are you doing right now? And blah, 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 right? So like to get away from that, from that, it was like a cage, it was like a cage where, of course, like, Indian parents,
Yeah,
they are overprotective, right?
correct.
And sometimes, being overprotective, just like it makes the kid feel suffocated,
Yeah,
right? So like my only reason to go to Merchant Navy or join this profession, go to sea
yeah,
was to be free, was to be like away from my parents so that they can't say anything to me.
that's beautiful.
Yeah, but like, like now I really think about it, was it the right decision? But like right now I'm just like enjoying my job, I love doing that.
Yeah,
So yeah, man, like a few things were like, being more disciplined,
yeah,
right? If you have to be on your watch, if you have to be on your work
yeah,
at 4 o'clock, you be there like at 3:55.
got it.
That's how it goes, right? Because you go there and then you take your handovers, you see what's going on, right? You need to be comfortable, right?
Mm,
So it takes you 5-10 minutes.
got it.
So, it teaches you to be more disciplined to reach, you know, at work on time. That's very important. Punctuality, is the most important thing at work.
Got it. Got it.
Another thing is,
Yeah,
that when you are at sea, you get to learn that a man or like a human being, he doesn't need a lot of things to survive. Like I'm just carrying like four pair of clothes, some undergarments, some
I've
socks,
seen that.
and a pair of shoes. Like that's all I need, right? And my uniform.
You're the lightest traveler I've ever met in my life.
Yeah, so like I just carry that, and it's all I need, right? And just some food and some basic internet, and we're good,
Yeah,
right? So like that is what life at sea teaches us. And another thing that it teaches us that we'll be fine alone.
right.
Because we're there with like 20 people for like 6 months, 9 months, 8 months, whatever, right?
Yeah,
And we're good, man. We're fine, right? We don't need a lot of people around me. We just need few people, to connect with, to share our things with, and we're good.
that's amazing. Because look, I know a lot of people and women, men who cannot be with themselves and just spend time with themselves and be okay with it. Everything has to have somebody there or some social thing going on. And I understand you're human and you need to have company. It's good. It's good to have that social community with you. But knowing how to be with oneself is something people don't really work on. Social media is kind of replacing people a little bit. Maybe that's a thing, but I do think that's a really important quality that people kind of need to take,
Of
right, or
course,
work on.
yeah, they need to be with themselves. They need to be fine with it. They need to be like sitting with themselves, thinking about life, thinking about what's going on, right? And like like when you sit with your own self, you don't have a lot of like things by your side that can like take you away from sitting with your own self. That is where you really reflect on your life decisions, on things you're doing, and it's really important to have that time.
Yep.
So life at sea kind of forces you towards it, but it's kind of nice. It's kind of good. Yeah.
Beautiful. So wanted to go now into the thing you just spoke about, which was get rejected.
Yeah.
Get rejected. Hey, you're complaining about some problem you have in your life. Get rejected. Now let's talk about practical ways of doing that to for the biggest thing that's important to men, which is dating. Now, as you know, the social environment post COVID changed a bit. I think social contract. People got more indoors and became more isolated. They, uh, in some ways, a lot of people stopped cold approaching even to make friends, going out. Why is it so important in today's day and age where everyone thinks that the normal way of meeting someone is a dating app or through some community you're in, like your workplace or your school? Why is it so important now to focus or work on cold approach? And how should one go about it if one's a complete beginner, say in 30s, as a guy? Let's talk about in general. A guy in his 30s, he wants to meet a cool woman. He does not want to do online dating. How does he go about it, and how should he get started?
Like I said, get rejected. Right? But yeah, okay. So I got your question, right?
Yep.
Like for like a 30-year-old, how should he like get started with his dating like thing, right? Dating gig, right?
The
Like
gig.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So basically, like I would say like the easiest and the fastest way, like to go up that curve, is to get a mentor, right? Like a guy who has been there, who's been teaching about it, and who knows this stuff for a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because a mentor like really helps you go get there faster.
Mm-hmm.
But even if like you don't have a mentor, right? There's so much information up there on the internet, on YouTube,
Yeah.
on like things you should follow. But I would just say that become a guy who starts speaking to people, who starts socializing, right?
Yep.
Like you're walking down the road, you see an old lady, say her good morning. If you see a beggar, you can have some fun with her or him, and like give him a tip, and just like chill, start talking to the grocery guy at the cashier or someone, like start socializing with people, start like speaking to people more, getting to know them more, just like speak to everyone, you know that's the best way to get out of it, like okay, let's say
Yep.
like you don't have the courage to go speak to women,
Yep.
right? Go speak to men. Tell them, what's up, man? I really like your shirt. What's up, man? I really like your shoes. What's up? What's happening, man? How's it going, right? The other day, you remember, we were in the lift, and there was this old guy going, and we were like, where you from, and stuff
Yeah.
like that. We were just chilling, and we had like a conversation, and now like every time we meet them, we greet each other, right?
Yeah.
Like our neighbor, right?
We're friends now in a way.
Yeah, so like it's very important to greet people, to socialize with them, right? Like that's the easiest way to start it off, right? And then once you're fine with that, you can move up to women, start going up there, like complimenting them.
Yep.
I'm not saying that's the best dating strategy, but like that's how you start, right? that's
Right.
that's the beginner's thing you can do, right? So you start with that, you start meeting more women, you can just like in your daily life, anywhere you go, right? You can just start going up to women. You be respectful, and you can start talking to them, right?
Yep.
Of course, there are some ways, which you can like we will go into that later. Like there are a lot of ways that can give you better results.
Yeah.
But like just to start, go speak to women
Right.
and get rejected,
Get
and
rejected.
come home and be happy about it.
Okay. Usually, it's not come home and be happy. It's come home and sulk or complain to another guy about how hard dating is,
Yeah.
or record a whole podcast because you don't want to get rejected. But I totally understand. I get the prescription is to literally go and socialize. Get used to it. So let's talk a little bit about now about your worst rejection story.
I have a lot of them.
So you're someone who I think is comfortable with rejection because you know it's part of the process. Women, meeting people. But I want to know your craziest story and if it really made any changes to you, or if it made you ever switch up your behavior, what you're doing.
Well, I have a lot of them, but like to start with, I'll just tell you, I was in ninth grade,
Uh-huh.
and at my tuitions, I was a guy who was like very social with people.
Okay.
But I used to suck with women, I used to be like so scared of like talking to them in ninth grade. I was like way too shy, I couldn't like hold eye contact with women, that's how shy I was, right?
Unimaginable for me.
Yeah. But like, yeah, like even I can't imagine that kid anymore. Like, like now I can just like look into a woman's eyes for like 3 hours straight, But anyways, so like The thing was that I was in ninth grade, and I really liked this girl in my tuition class. In my science tuition class,
Okay.
and she was like really pretty, like pretty to my standards at that time, not anymore, but yeah, like she was really pretty. Like, and yeah, it's like, I was like, I didn't even know like how to like say what I want to say, right? So like a friend of mine just told her like ask her out. So I did that out of the tuition, and all the people knew that I'm gonna like say something to her, and they were watching me,
Yeah.
and I was like rejected, and all of them were laughing, like after like I got rejected, and she left for her house. So I mean, that like that was my first ever thing where I was like very open with a girl that hey, I like you, and I was rejected, right? And that just the kid like real bad. It's like you just know that oh this is not gonna happen, and you're gonna stay single forever, so don't even try, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, like my confidence was broken like real bad at that moment.
Yeah.
So but yeah, I came back, I was like and then someone else started dating that girl.
Yeah.
So anyways, cut that story short, and like this was my first ever rejection in my life.
Okay.
But yeah, like with approaching women and talking to them, socializing with people, after that I had a lot of rejection, and I still have, I still
Yeah.
get rejected like day in and day out, because like of course it's part of the process, like you said,
Yeah.
like you talk to 100 people, let's say, not even women, like 50 or like 40 will reject you, right? And
Right.
it depends on the locality or the place you are at,
Yep.
but you get rejected and now you're used to it.
Yep.
Yeah. So one of the rejections which I remember, back in the days, like few years back,
Uh-huh.
I was getting coached by my mentor.
Okay.
Like I said, mentors are very important.
Yeah.
So I've had them in my life. I've had few now. So with a mentor, I had a mentor for the dating specifically,
Sure.
and so I met him for the first time in my life. Right, like I was being coached by him on the phone, but we met for the first time in my life, and I met him at a Starbucks.
Hmm.
So I met him, and I was, I greeted him. I was like, "How are you?" And it was lovely meeting you today. Blah blah blah. Right. So we were not in India; we were somewhere outside.
Sure.
So and like he didn't even like greet me back. He's like, "Yeah, man, what's up? Just approach that girl behind you." I was like, "Okay, okay." So I went there, and I was like, "Okay," because I'm the one guy who blindly follows, like the mentors.
Yeah.
I would believe in them. I would respect them. I would believe in them. I would kind of worship them. I would just follow what they say. So I was like, okay, boom, I go approach that chick. She rejects me right off the bat. Like, okay, cool. So I come back to him. I was like, yeah, I'm done. He's like, okay, approach the one sitting next to her now.
What?
So I just go there, and I go and approach her, and she's like, "Yeah, thank you, blah blah blah." I approach her, "What book are you reading?" and stuff like that. And then she's like, "I'm just reading, and I just want to be alone and blah blah." Like, okay, cool, man. I was like, "Okay, this is done." So I come to him, like, I'm done. He's like, "Okay, now approach the one sitting next to her." And now I start going in my head. It's like,
Yeah.
what the am I doing? Like you
Yeah.
start judging yourself, right?
Yeah.
But the thing you realize is the world is not judging you. The world doesn't have the time to see what going on, right?
Yeah.
But then, like I said, I follow the process. I follow my mentor, So, and I was like, okay, I was like a bit hesitant, but I went there. I was like, what's up? And she like just looked at me and she didn't even say anything. She's like,
Looked away.
yeah. So that was like I would say my worst rejection. But like, after your worst rejection, you become a beast. Like the fear of like rejections goes away. It just some energy comes inside to you.
Yeah.
You like stop giving a about this world. Like that's how it is. So yeah, man, that's a story. I
Good
tell
one.
my students now, and I make them do it sometimes, right? Because I know what process it is, and what change it is gonna bring into them, right? So yeah, man.
Yeah. Just hearing about it, cringe inside. Feel that going in your headness as you felt it when you just narrated it. I
Yeah,
felt it.
yeah.
That's crazy.
You felt the goosebumps, huh?
Yeah, the goosebumps.
Yeah.
And then you start, the funny thing is we think it's uncomfortable, right? That feeling.
Hmm. Hmm.
But then you start chasing that feeling.
Yeah, it's like an addiction.
It's painful or it's hard, but you know what? Start like gravitating towards it. It's amazing. So I now want to go into something that a lot of guys I feel like lack or have some problems with, which is confidence. I know it feels like a very cliche topic. Confident. How do you apply it in today's world? Like, what can a guy practically do
Yeah.
to actually be that way when he shows up in society? How do you be more confident?
Like, yeah, like you said, it's a very cliche topic. Everybody talks about, anybody and everybody, in this the personal development space is talking about confidence,
Right.
right? And people like holding like 10 days workshop just to teach them to be confident in a walls. How can you teach a man to be confident without him going to war, right? Like, of course, we can't go to war today.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, like we can if we are in the army or the navy, but like, we can't go to war like in the real world now. Like before everybody was going to war, right?
Yeah, it
But
was
now,
norm.
yeah, now we go to. Anyways, so I feel as a man, as a man who's growing up, right? You know, I also feel, let's just talk what would be the ideal way if I would want my son to be more confident, right? I would start teaching him right from, you know, like like the younger age. That's the right age to instill confidence in a man or a woman,
Mhm.
right? So certain things, which you can do like right now, like let's say you're an 18-year-old boy.
Yep.
Okay. So what are the things you can do right now to be, let's be specific,
Sure.
right? So some few things that are very general, but like, when I was 18, I was not following them. So, maybe I would still wanna, consider telling them, telling to the audience that one of the things is like, they're like very simple things, dress well. So when I mean dress well is like really see what resonates with you. Like, I'm wearing a very very hip hop fashion today
Correct.
because like I was just feeling it today. I didn't want to like wear a shirt and a good trouser and come. I was just feeling very hip today, so I'm wearing that. So whatever resonates with you,
Yeah.
you know. So like it is not necessary that you have to wear like a Versace or a Dior or something like that.
Designer.
Yeah, like you can just go thrift it out, if you don't have a lot of money, right? And you have to wear something that resonates with you,
Yeah.
and you look good in it, right? Like dress sharp,
Got it.
like wear a lot of accessories, wear a watch if you feel like, you know. So dressing is one of the most important factors, right? People don't talk about it, right? Dress well. The second thing which all men should do is be like maintain that hygiene, right? Like, go to a saloon, get your manicure pedicures done. If you can't, just cut your nails at home, right? You can do that.
Yeah.
So like smell well, take a good shower, like just be presentable. That's the most important thing. Be hygienic
Yep.
and dress well. Once you're done, your 20-30% of the confidence thing is done, right? Now when you look in the mirror,
Yeah.
right, you are hygienic, you know you've taken a shower, you're dressing well, so now you're good to go, right? When you look yourself in the mirror, you feel confident about your looks,
Yep.
right? If you like if you have like long hair, like do the best thing you can do with them, right?
Mm.
Or if you have short, like comb them well, be presentable, apply gel or whatever you want to apply, right?
Yep.
So that part is sorted,
Yep.
right? The next thing you should do, again, start socializing with people.
Mm.
The more people you speak to, the like your verbals grow, you become more confident, you just like it's just a part of your life now to
Yep.
speak to people, right? Like in Delhi, they say, Delhi people are very right? They
Yeah.
do a lot of,
Yeah.
and that is how they're more confident because they're just speaking to like the fruit seller, they're speaking to their maids, they're speaking to their bosses, they're speaking to their professors, they're speaking to everyone in the class,
Yeah.
right? So you got to start speaking to people,
Yep.
right? Even if you're an introvert,
Yeah.
right? Even if you're an introvert, that is something you got to do.
Yep.
You can be introvert at your house, you can be an introvert with your friends.
Yeah.
But as a man, you got to go out there and start speaking to people. You need to have the extroverted version of yourself because it's very important.
Right.
And that brings more confidence. Once you're extroverted with the world around you,
Yeah.
that'll bring more confidence, right? The last thing which I want you to do to bring confidence is, again, get rejected.
Rejected.
that is what brings more confidence, because like the fear goes away, right?
Yep.
Like you stop giving a fuck, because at the back of your mind you're like, this bitch doesn't know who the fuck I am. She doesn't know the king she's rejecting. She doesn't know, like, what changes in her life will come if she comes and speaks to me,
Right.
if she stays in touch, if she spends time with me. She doesn't know, right? So,
How
like,
can someone who doesn't even know us
yeah,
have an opinion on us?
so it just brings more confidence to you, inside you. Like, it's not a situational confidence, it's something you are building inside you, right? And start putting yourself in uncomfortable positions. जैसे दिल्ली में दे से जहाँ पे फटे, जब तुम्हारे फटने लगे ना, ऐसी जगहों पे अपने आप को डालो. Slog through, man. Like, go into the things that really scare you
Deliberately,
deliberately.
deliberately.
Yeah, that's how. This is a journey. You can't gain confidence like overnight. You sleep today, and I put some things into your brain, and tomorrow morning, you'll be the most confident man. That's not gonna happen. It's a journey. It's a never-ending journey, right? So the only thing you can do is start on that journey right now.
Amazing. I know, yeah, this is something so cliched, but you summarize it really well. I want to now go into, digital aspects. I know we spoke about it a bit earlier. Everyone, there's this guy, okay, let's talk about an example. There's a guy who is at his workplace and he's going for his corporate job and he has no time to date. He's like, I don't have time to cold approach. I work 12-hour days. I'm burning out, trying to get a paycheck. I'm trying to get take care of my family, take care of myself. I don't have time to go cold approach. I just want to install Tinder, or I want to install a dating app, and I want to get a date through that. I want to be efficient. Uh, and this guy says that I don't have time to cold approach. I mean, I do have a little bit, I can do a little, but I want another way to scale this dating process and do it in a more efficient way. And now you have Instagram as well, where this is now the a global dating marketplace. And oh, you need an Instagram now, for a girl to like know who you are.
Yeah.
And then even if you cold approach, you share Instagram, so even so the photos or what you do for your lifestyle matters. How does one deal with this and yet integrate cold approach into your life, even with the whole I don't have time for it because of this digital world that we're living in? How does one like balance the two?
So like, the first thing first, like, let's say you have a job, you're going there like say 12 hours a day.
Yep.
Let's say 5 days a week. You're like slogging through 12 hours, right? So let's say that is how your schedule is, right?
Yep.
So like, the best you can do is like game on Saturdays and Sundays, like go out, meet people, meet women.
Yeah.
On Saturdays and Sundays, right?
Yeah, on the
Or
weekends.
like
Yeah.
meet people when you're like at the gym, or again grocery shopping, whatever, right? Or like
Yeah.
coming out of the office, or in the parking lot, or wherever, right?
Sure.
That's the best you can do, right? Like, ideal would be like, you do this, right? If I was like in such a thing, I would
Yep.
do this, right?
Okay.
And also, like, at the same time, see, I do not mind people using dating apps. Even I do sometimes, right?
Yep.
That's fine. You wanna sometimes you just wanna meet women like real quick.
Yeah.
You are like lazy and stuff like that. So yeah, like, even we use dating sites, and we've met some like really good women from there. So yeah, like, but again, I would say that use dating sites, but like, don't fully focus and don't be dependent on them, because people who start getting results from the dating sites, they just become lazy.
Yeah.
And they just, because like, I would say the kind of women you meet on the dating sites and the kind of women you meet on the streets are different. Because like, there are a lot of women, a lot of women in this world who don't use dating sites, right?
Correct.
And like, you want to meet them as well, right? They bring a different charm to your life.
Yeah.
The women on the dating sites, it's like, again, I told you, right? 90% of the women are meeting the 5% of the guys, right? So
Right.
I would not like I would not want to like just be dependent on dating sites. But like if your job doesn't allow you at this moment, right? Then use dating sites, like meet women on Saturdays, Sundays, maybe after your work, whatever, right? But ideally, I would say, like the moment you have like a stable job,
Yeah.
the moment you are like experienced in your own field,
Yeah.
try to find a job, where you can actually find time to meet people, to meet women, because like this is your age, right?
Yeah.
Like try, like for engineers, I would say try to find, things that like work from home if you can do it,
Yeah.
or like things like, like 8 hours a day or something like that. Because it's really important to focus on both of the things, right? Even if like let's say I give you 100 cr a day today, Karan, right? I give you 100 cr, or like let's say I give you $10 million, whatever, right? It's the
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah.
So if I give you like $10 million, right, and I tell you that you can't have any woman in your life, what would you do with those $10 million, right? Who would
Pointless.
you spend it on, man? Like we spend it on our women, right?
Yeah.
Like we don't need anything, we just have four clothes and we are happy with it for like 1 year, right?
All you need.
So like yeah, of course, man, you need that health, you need that woman along with that money, right?
Correct.
So it's very important to balance it out, right? That's
Yeah.
what I tell everyone,
Yeah.
like who is logging it like let's say 70 hours a week,
Yeah.
I tell them, try to find a job, even like, it pays you like 10% less. Still try to find a job that's either work from home so
Yeah.
that you can travel.
Yeah.
You can travel the world, meet the beautiful women, right? Or like, find a job that's like 8 hours a day. So, you can meet women after your work. You need to
Great.
find that balance.
So you made a very cool point here about traveling to meet women. So the passport bro movement has become mainstream now. People in the West, people in developed nations are leaving and going to places across the world, in South America, Asia, all parts of the world. And they're going there to meet women, to date women.
Yeah.
So I want to know now about passport bro movement applied to guys of Indian origin and Indians.
Yeah.
Uh, how is how does one get that edge in dating, and where should a guy of Indian origin go, and what should he do if he wants to become a passport bro?
Right. Right. So, like I feel the passport bro movement is like really important for us Indians as well, right? Because they're not very aware of it.
Yeah.
Right. Like they, of course, they see it on on like social media. They see all these passport bros going around the world, like in South America or like say Southeast Asia, they're going out there meeting women, living the life,
Yeah.
hitting the gym, eating the best food of the life, right? But like, we Indians, I think, it's somewhere we feel that, we can't have that life, there
Yeah.
is that barrier that we have for ourselves.
Yeah.
We just feel that, like, the only way we have to live our lives is like get married at 26, to the woman our parents make us meet, get arranged marriage at 26,
Yeah.
have a son or a daughter at 28, and like, and die at 70. That's the life of an average Indian man, right?
Correct. Correct.
But I feel, the things, the life is changing, the times are changing now, I feel, even Indian men can, do whatever the they want to do in their lives, right? So
100%.
I feel, like, first of all, like if you want to travel, the first thing you're gonna make sure is like you sort your money, right?
Yeah.
Because let's say with $1,000 or with $1,200 a month, you can't really like travel, right? You can travel for a bit,
Yeah.
right? You can travel like 3 days or 4 days in a month, and
Yeah.
like on your holidays, but like you can't be a passport bro.
Yep.
You can't be living in another country
Yep.
and chilling there, right?
Yep.
So I feel like, if you're a salaried person, right, you need to find maybe like a work from home, so that you can do your job and at the same time stay in any country you feel like.
Yeah.
Right. And or otherwise, like, if you're a businessman, you need to automate it to a level where, like, let's say in 30 days you can be out of India for 20, right?
Right.
So because you need to have that time up your sleeve, right? If you're going to the office every day, then you can't have that passport bro life, right?
Got it.
So one thing is like you gotta sort the fact that you don't have to stay in India to make money. The second thing is like you need to have that money. You need to make that amount of money as well to survive in another country. Because I feel, India still is one of the cheapest countries to live in the world. That's what I have discovered, It's
Uh-huh.
like, you know, like one click and they will deliver your groceries for like less than $1,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
That would be the delivery charge, where in the world it happens, right?
Yeah. 100%.
So, that is one, make decent money and make sure your job is like work from home or something. You don't have to stay in India, right?
Got it.
The next thing you ask, like, where should we go?
Yeah.
Where the
Where
fuck
do
should we
you go to
pack our
succeed?
bags? Yeah, like, so
Yeah.
I would say, you can start with Southeast Asia, start traveling to the islands in Thailand, start traveling to maybe, let's say, Bali, let's say Vietnam, like all these Southeast Asia, Philippines, where we are right now, right? Like, you should start, exploring the Southeast Asian countries. And like, if you're done with them, you can hit to like Middle East, or you can go to like, the Soviet Union
Yeah.
countries, right? Like, you can go to Georgia, Azerbaijan, or let's say Turkey. I mean, these are also cool places to like meet women, have a good
I'm
life.
gonna just interject there and say a lot of
Yeah.
guys are gonna say that the Soviet bloc, the Stans and Turkey are hard mode
Yeah.
because the women there are very difficult to date,
Yeah.
even through cold approach or dating apps. But you have like examples of guys who've gone there and have done well and succeeded.
Of course, man. I am one of them.
Oh, there.
Yeah, I mean, like, of course, it is. I won't say it's hard.
Okay.
It's just your reality, right? Because as Indians, we always feel women who are tall, women who are white, women who are beautiful, they're out of our leagues. That's how we are born, right?
Yeah.
Because see, nothing against Indian women, they're pretty as I was dating one at one point of time.
Yeah.
But like, but there's just something we have for them, right? We just feel that, oh, she's out of her league, right?
Yep.
So I feel, you gotta go there and you gotta give it a shot, right? That's how you
Yeah.
get used to it, right? You gotta get rejected there as well.
Correct.
The places that scare you, just go there and get rejected. You'll
Right.
be used to it, right?
Because a lot of guys read stuff online, and
Yeah.
they're like, "Hey, I read on this Reddit or this forum that this place is super hard. The women there are super hard to date." But then, did you go there? Did you find out? And the answer is no. Everything is online research.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably
Yeah,
missing.
you gotta have your own references, right? Like, you have your own references in life and places with women, right? You can just like, if someone got rejected right, left, center, didn't have any success, right? That doesn't mean you will have the same.
Correct.
Yeah.
And again, I want to just touch upon this. What's the benefit of me going to a place, getting references, using dating apps, approaching in that marketplace,
Yeah.
and then coming back home or going back to my day job? What did I gain? Why should I even gain a reference? What's the point of it?
Well, it's the same point. Like, you like to eat a lot of different variety of foods, right? As Indians, we love to have the Korean barbecue chicken. Like, at the same time, we wanna have like a biryani, or like, let's say we wanna have a dosa, right? We wanna have like South Indian dishes. Like, you like to have a variety of things, right? So at the same time, I'm not talking about like have a variety of like eat different women. I'm not saying that, but like, I'm just saying, like, you just go out there, you experience their culture, you experience their food, you experience their beer, you experience their alcohol, you experience the way women react to things, the way, like, every country has its own thing, the way people react to things, the way like people talk, they speak, they enjoy their life, right? So I would just say the only thing you bring is a lot of memories, a lot of experiences, like, you enjoy, like let's say, women here in Manila, in Philippines, or women in Thailand, they're just way too feminine.
Mm-hmm.
And I just love that about them. That is something that really attracts me into them.
Okay.
They're like really feminine. Whereas like, if you go to like, European countries, we've seen like women are not that feminine anymore. Right. So I mean, I'm just saying, if it also, it also tells you what is your calling, what kind of women do you like.
Yeah.
So when you go to different places, there'll be some places like let's say, when I met like some Iranian women in Turkey.
Yeah.
So I got to know that that Iranians and me have a thing, right?
Hmm.
Anytime I'm meeting an Iranian woman, it just so on, I just feel like she's my wife forever, right? So it so like, that's how I know that like Iranian women, they just love the way I am, right?
Yeah.
So, and I love them, this is way too cute, man. So it's just like when you travel, you get to know, like, what kind of things you like, what kind of women you like, what kind of places you like, right?
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a personal question now. You
Yeah.
game, you tried to date in Turkey. Was language ever a barrier to you communicating there, and you being able to form a deep connection with a woman?
Well, to bring to like answer that, I'll first take you to my trip in Thailand back in 2018, right? So, like, you said, like, what's the point of going to so many countries, right? So, when I was in Thailand, like, in 2018, and I was trying to meet women, right? So, the only thing was, I was like, like, how the do I speak to them? They don't speak English at all,
Yep.
right? And I was getting rejected right, left, center, day in, day out, 10 days, 20 days, 30 days. I was like, I'm leaving this country. So, like, I left Thailand. Of course, I met few travelers, foreigners who were speaking English and, stuff like that. But I could never connect to Thai women.
Yep.
But let's say back to 2022, I was in Thailand again. And man, now it was so easy. Like, they still didn't speak English. But yes, being a person, you find your way out of it, right? So I just now started connecting with women without the language.
Can you explain this in more detail, like
Yeah, so
for
there
the
is
layman to
yeah, yeah,
understand?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So there is a thing called Google Translate, right? You open it, you download the language translate on your phone, and just go about it. You just look open, and I tend to use a lot of body language now.
Hmm.
I speak with my body, so that like they know, and a lot of sign language and a lot of Google Translate, and like it just really makes me connect with them, right? So since like ever since I've been going to Thailand now, I've been connecting with Thai women more than the foreign women.
What?
So yeah, so that's how I knew, like when I was in Turkey,
Yeah.
women weren't speaking English there,
Yep.
right? But I could still connect with them because I know how to connect with people who don't speak my language,
Wow.
right? So
That's a great
like
skill.
something I learned in Thailand was being applied in Turkey, and it would be applied in Iran, and it would be applied in, let's say, Vietnam, and n number of countries, right?
Wow.
So like something that you learn at one place applies to other places as well.
Got
And
it.
that's what I said, it's a never ending journey.
Right. It's
Yeah.
like a puzzle.
Yeah.
You don't know the answer to it, but you first find out that you don't know the answer. You first find out you don't know the answer.
Yeah.
And then later figure out a way to solve it, then apply it to other puzzles.
Yeah, of course. Like
Right?
you try putting yourself into situations that are difficult, and
Yeah.
as human beings, we tend to find solutions to the problems.
Correct.
So you will automatically find those solutions. You just gotta be there in that situation for long.
Love always finds a way.
Yeah. There's this saying, I tell myself, like whenever I'm like in two minds whether I'm comfortable somewhere, I just tell myself, jump into the sea and you will learn how to swim.
You have two options, and one is super your comfort zone,
Yeah.
and one is super uncomfortable. Always go for uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's how you grow, right? That's how you grow in life as a man, right?
Well said. And I want to add one more thing to that Google Translate thing.
Yeah.
I guess you got to be patient.
Yeah, of course. You gotta be patient.
Right.
You would like, of course, like initially when you start doing it, you won't be comfortable yourself, right?
Yeah.
Because you would get weird reactions, right?
Correct.
But like again, when you get used to it, it'll be all fine. You'll give her the time to react. You will give her your phone to type as well,
Hmm.
right? And sometimes, when there's love in the air, you don't need any words, my friend. It's just eyes doing the talking, and it's on, right?
That's
And
crazy.
that's like I have discovered the best sexual chemistry I've had is with women who don't speak my any language, who don't speak English, who don't speak any Indian languages. That's where I have the most chemistry.
That is insane to someone to contemplate.
Yeah.
How is it possible
Yeah.
that when you cannot communicate with someone, you have great chemistry? How is it possible?
Well, yeah, that's the secret, right? Because like when you can't speak to each other, you start speaking with your eyes, start speaking with your touch, when you hold hands, you just get to know so much about them, right? I read a book like when I was young that, if you hold someone's hand for 10 minutes, you would know more about them than speaking to them for 60. Because they can't lie, right? The power of touch doesn't lie, right? So the power of touch speaks.
Okay.
And that's how the chemistry grows faster.
Harry, I'm going to challenge you now on one thing,
Yeah.
which is you always told me that you were this guy who's a sapiosexual.
Yeah.
You love having intellectual conversations with women. You
Mm-hmm.
love having the ability to have deep conversations
Yeah.
and intelligence. You love intelligence in women.
Yeah.
If you cannot speak her language, how are you going to have these deep conversations? And how are you going to get that, like get that depth which you want, which you seek? How are you going to get that?
Well, see, these are two different things, right? When I
Yeah.
was I was talking about sexual chemistry here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm actually not seeking deep connections there, right? That's the reality of it, right? If I want to have like deep connections,
Yeah.
like of course, I'm attracted to women who are intelligent, right? But
Yeah.
that attraction is like when I want to date a girl, right? When I want
Okay.
to be with her for long, right? Then
Yeah.
of course I need those deep connections. I need the fact that she understands this world.
Yeah.
She has a lot of common sense in her mind, right? So I need that to be attracted to her and to stay with her, right?
Mm.
But like if I'm just there out chilling with someone, just being there with them for a short while, I don't need that, right?
Yeah.
Then I don't need words for that, right? So
Got
yeah,
it. And it's really important as a man to have a healthy to have a healthy dating life. You're going to edit that out. To have a healthy dating life, you need to be good with both. You got to be able to have those the in-depth conversations, and you also have to be good at leading and making her feel and having great chemistry as well. You've got to be good at both. It's not one or the other.
well, it just depends, like what's your vibe with that girl, like with
Mm.
every girl, it's different, right? Sometimes you just wanna be chill, you just wanna be there for a while, and like not talk about things in the long term, right?
Yep.
But with some women, you like really feel like being with them for a while, and like getting to know them, and maybe date them or end up marrying them, whatever it is, like
Yeah.
for you, right? So I just feel with different kind of people with different vibe, different connect, the goal is very different.
Amazing. And it was really good to hear about your adventures in Turkey, Thailand, because
Yeah.
a lot of guys struggle with that language barrier, and the
Hmm.
answer is can be solved.
Of course, it can be
There's a
solved, man.
solution to
Anything
it.
can be solved, right? You just need to work on it, right?
Love always finds a way. So I want to get into now some of the difficulties or some of the problems with cold approaching in India.
Ah, yeah.
I want to do that
You're
quick.
coming on the pain points, huh? Pain points of all the men in India.
Correct. There's guys out there with great intentions who
Yeah.
have great jobs, great careers, doing great. And they just want to organically meet someone, let's say, cold approach.
Yeah.
They want to just authentically present themselves, introduce themselves, and they want to just they have all the best intentions, but there's problems.
Yeah.
I want to just go into a quick little guide for what guys should do to be able to successfully uh, cold approach in India, meet someone cool, and have a great dating life. What do they have to do?
Well, there are a lot of things that they gotta do, but like let's just talk about the main things, right?
Yep.
So I feel men in India, like I know a few men, I hear about them, and I'm friends with some. They're like amazing men in India, like that I know of. But the only problem they're facing is they don't have a lot of women in their lives, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're making good money, they're fed, they're healthy, but they still don't have like a lot of women in their lives,
Yeah.
right? So I feel, the only problem that I feel the main problem is the lack of confidence, right? Because
Mm.
like let's say, how we were like the upbringing, right? The
Yeah.
upbringing of an Indian household or an Indian family
Yeah.
or in school, when we are growing up, they say like, oh, focus on your studies, right?
Yeah.
Like don't talk to girls, it's a bad thing,
Yeah.
and all of that, blah blah blah, right?
Yeah.
Of course, like it's told to men and women both,
Mm.
right? When we are children, even in school, right? We're not allowed to like sit with girls sometimes, or like we just punished if we like speak to them or we express some things. So since childhood we are taught that don't talk to women,
Yeah.
right? Don't have a girlfriend, or like for girls don't have a boyfriend and shit like that. So and like when we grow up, then like after our school we are told, okay, go study hard, go to a good university. So men do that, men fucking work hard, men go to a good university, and then men take a good job, right?
Yep.
They're trying to do whatever their parents told them to do, right?
Correct.
And when they're 25, their parents are like, okay, go get a girl. And the guys are like, the whole life you told me not to talk to women, and now you want me to find a wife, right? And then the guys are like, I can't find a wife, right? How to find a wife, right? So then they end up like, the parents end up going to shaji.com or, whatever it is. Shout out to
Websites.
Anupam Mittal, huh? Give me some money. Anyways. So like, like they go up to like, these websites. So like some end up on Hinge or Bumble. But the thing is, like they still don't have that riz. They still don't have that confidence, to like, even if let's say,
Yep.
Karan, you meet some girl of shaji.com, right?
Yeah.
Like you've written, okay, I'm making 1 CR, like I'm making like $500,000 a year. A lot of women would click on you because women want that, their husband should make a lot of money,
Yeah.
right? And let's say you're an engineer, you look decent, right? You'll have a lot of, you will have a lot of clicks on your profile,
Yeah.
right? And let's say, you find one, two, you find a, of course, if she wants money, you want someone young and beautiful,
Correct.
right? So you meet this 23-year-old young, beautiful girl, who makes like 15,000 rupees, but is beautiful, that's what is important. Anyways, so like you meet her and, but like, let's say, even if she's making 15,000 rupees and she's beautiful, she still has a lot of options,
Correct.
even more than you.
Correct.
So now she is meeting you. If you don't have the confidence, if you can't look into her eye and, you can't speak to her, you can't like, ask her stuff that is really important to you, right? Without shying away,
Yeah.
she will not want to talk to you again, right? So like an average Indian man is doing everything right that was told by their parents, but they still don't have the confidence. They still don't have the riz. They still don't know like how to speak to women.
Yep.
That's the problem. So I feel, any man at any age, whether you're 20, you're 22, you're 32,
42.
52, and you're single.
Yeah.
Today, start working on yourself. Start working on the fact that you can grow in life, you can gain more confidence, you can dress well, you can get women.
Get rejected.
Get rejected, of course. So I feel, that is what is going on in India, That is why most men are suffering. That is when you see, see, I have nothing against Indian women. They're amazing. My mom is an Indian woman, right?
Same here.
But yeah, I have nothing against them, right? But I just feel, men need to work upon themselves so that, like, they can have like a better dating life. If you have a better dating life, you have more options, then you marry the person you really want to fucking marry.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you just settle for what you're getting. That's what happening. Men who are making crazy amount of money, men who look good, they're still settling for women who, maybe, maybe they deserve better women,
Correct.
right? But they're still settling down for them because they don't know what to do.
Correct.
They lack options, right? So they give away the power, they give away the power to Indian women, right? I feel this is the time, you're any fucking age, start working on yourself.
And specifically to the cold approach aspects, how does one handle it in a
Yeah.
nutshell? How do you do it in India
In India,
without getting into
into
trouble
Yeah.
or without
Just be
safe to be
just be
safe?
like, yeah, just be respectful, just keep a distance, and just go talk to women like, hi, what's up, compliment them, like, whichever way you want to, right? My ways are different, right? Of course, we're not going to disclose it here, right? But yeah.
So, guys, if you want the sauce and you want to learn about some of the techniques, I mean, I won't call them techniques. It's more like social dynamics,
The principles.
the social principles to meet women anywhere in the world without having even knowing their language and doing cold approach in a sustainable way. Hit up Harry in the DMs. His Instagram is going to be right here, and reach out to him, and he'd be happy to just advise you for free.
Yeah.
Okay, he's not going to charge you anything. He's a very helpful person. He's a really cool guy overall. So we reach out to him to know more about these things that he speaks about. But at the end of the day, you can't really not do the actual act of cold approach. You still have to do that.
Of course, yeah.
If you want to tweak it, you want to get some edge, you can talk to Harry, talk to other dating coaches, other mentors. It's been super helpful for me, and I'm sure it'll be for you.
Yeah. I just feel, you gotta, like, for an average Indian man, you gotta start, meeting people, socializing, meeting women, do dating sites and do
Mm.
whatever, right? Because, but
Yeah.
like, I would say, meeting women in real life is the core.
Mm.
That is the thing that will give you the most amount of confidence. That is the thing that will teach you most in life,
Mm.
which you can replicate and use while you're meeting women from shadi.com or you're meeting women off Tinder,
Or Turkey.
whatever. That is the core.
Yeah.
That is the core that develops you as a man with respect to the dating aspects.
Well said. So, any parting thoughts about uh, cold approach, about personal development, about I want to get into also this aspect about finding a mentor. You said a mentor is really important,
Yeah.
very, very, very crucial. How do you find a mentor? What's the best way to work with one? And should one have multiple mentors in life? Like to learn a bit about that, and plus your parting thoughts.
Well, yeah, I feel mentors are like the most important thing. We like, as we Indians, we're always told to like save our money, right?
Yeah.
To like, be like, not spend much and blah blah blah. Like, I would say save on your money, like, put in money to mutual funds, buy those stocks, or like just do FDs or whatever you want to do, right? Like buy gold, whatever the fuck it is, right? But like, even I do all of that things, right? But I feel, when you're young, when you're like in your 20s, in your 30s, that is the time you're still young, you're making money and you'll be making money for like next 30 years as well, right?
Yeah.
So that is the best time to invest the money that you're making in learning new things, in
Mm.
learning things that you want in your life, right? So let's say, for example, like whenever I used to go to the gym back in the days, I've always kept like a coach in the gym, right? Like to
Mm.
teach me the correct form. Or let's say, I've had like multiple mentors in my journey. It's been like 11 years that I've
Mm.
been I've been into the like learning the dating, learning, this art of, of like conversing with women,
Yeah.
talking to them, right? It's been 11 years and I've had multiple, mentors based on, the stage I was at, right?
Yeah.
So I feel, it really helped me in a way, like it helped me learn faster. The learning curve grows faster. So
Okay.
I feel, and it's fine to have like different mentors for different aspects.
Yeah.
So one of my mentor is like a really close friend of mine, and he's my mentor in terms of health. So, he's the one who tells me like get your blood test done, what the fuck you have to eat, what things you don't have to
Mm.
eat, so that you don't need to eat meds when I'm old, right?
Mm.
So, get this test done and you get those tests done, and then we start working on things that are right.
Correct.
So of course, even I am traveling, so I end up eating junk, I end up, eating like things I should not eat, right?
Yeah.
And it my body.
Correct.
But then I start working on it, with that mentor of mine, right? Then I have a mentor, who like teaches me how to make more money and stuff like that.
Yep.
Right. So I mean, you can have different mentors for different aspects of your life. But it's very important to first focus on the thing that you want the most right now.
Got it.
Get a mentor, make money, get a mentor, give that money to the mentor, and just start learning. And one more thing I want to say, that when you are following a mentor, you
Yeah.
should not question him.
Yeah.
Just like I always have blind faith in them. For the time I am working with them, I'll have blind faith in them, and I will just follow what they say. I will not apply my brains for the time I'm working with them, because now I've taken the decision to hire them as mentors. So let me just also trust the fact that they know their
Surrender to their process.
exactly.
Don't question
Just
it.
don't question it. That is how you will grow the fastest. That is how you will learn the fastest. That is the most important thing.
This is something a lot of people have trouble with.
Yeah.
They think they know better.
Yeah.
Why did you hire the mentor then?
Exactly.
Dive in, surrender,
Yeah.
and then do whatever the hell you want.
Exactly.
Amazing. I'm also someone who's I call myself like a self-help personal development junkie. I've had plenty of mentors in my life for different reasons: business, dating, uh, all kinds of consultants I've hired for all kinds of things. And I've always noticed that you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
You Someone's charging you what you consider a lot of money. Clearly, they have something. that could help you. So don't hold back. Go and put that money to good use and pay for quality mentoring
Yeah.
for whatever your problem is at that time in your
Of course, yeah. Because it's very important to learn the right thing at the right moment, the right way.
life. Mm-hmm.
Because like once you, let's say, like you learn driving, like you go to a cheap driving school, and the
Yeah.
teacher is, he doesn't know the right way to teach you. He doesn't know the right things to follow when you're on the road, right? He's not that educated, so he'll teach you maybe something basic, right? But it might not be right, and you're gonna follow it for the rest of your life. And if you don't follow it correctly, you end up in an accident, right?
Yeah.
But if you go to a good driving school and the guy is educated and he's taken a course and he knows the rules and regulation, and he imparts that knowledge to you, that is why you learn it the right way, right? So
Well
it's
said.
very important to learn it from the right man, the right person, in whichever aspect of your life.
Right. Well,
So the most important decision to take is like to choose the right mentor. Yeah.
well said. Well said, Harry. I love that. So, any parting thoughts with regards to to this thing we spoke about, cold approach, building up as a man? Just a few parting words for this leg of the podcast.
Well, the most important thing I would just like to tell everyone is that don't be scared of this hustle. Don't be scared of rejections. Don't be scared of the fact that there'll be some days you'll come home and cry. As a man, there'll be some days you will feel like shit. There'll be some days when you would feel like, why the am I a man on this planet? Right? There'll be some days when you will not have any money in your fucking account. There'll be some days when you'll go without sex for, let's say, 6 months. There'll be some days when your health would be up. But get up in the morning, tell yourself, I'm gonna handle it. I'm a man and I'm grown up. And I'm gonna handle this and I'm gonna come out of it with flying colors.
Thank you so much, Harry.
Cheers, man.
Pleasure having you.